Very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope I'm audible. Am I clear? Oh, great. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I want to say thank you to the leadership of the Highland Church UK and Nigeria and other branches, I would say. Thank you so much for the opportunity. The leadership team, the organizing committee, thank you so much for putting this together. And I also a special thanks to Mr. Tejumade as well. Thank you so much for facilitating this whole arrangement. Thank you so much. The Lord bless you all and the Lord honor everyone in the name of Jesus. And for those who have taken our time to join this evening, I want to say thank you so much for joining us. You could be doing something else, but you've chosen to be on this platform. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Okay. I'm going to kick off now and then I would share my screen. Please give me thumbs up if you can see my screen.
Coming up. Yes.
Okay, brilliant. All right, so I would just all right, okay. So you're welcome everyone once again. As Mr. Tejumade mentioned, my name is Femi, and it's really great to be here. I really count it as a privilege, an opportunity to be sharing insight, when it comes to transitioning to tech or talking about technology or building a future that pays. It's a privilege for me to be sharing this. I know that there might be other professionals, experts in the house who also operate in the tech industry. I want to say thank you for your contributions and to the advancement of technology out there. There's a scripture that I always like to mention before I go into my presentation. It's a very popular one. It's in 1 Corinthians chapter 8 verse 2. 1 Corinthians chapter 8 verse 2. It says that, and if anyone thinks that he knows anything, he knows nothing yet as he ought to. That scripture always keeps me in check. It keeps me humble, because no matter how much knowledge that I think that I have, it feels as if I don't know anything yet and I still need to learn a lot more. So if we get to a point, if I can't answer any of your questions, it's fine. I have no pressure, but I'll try my best to make sure I'm able to answer as much questions and then to also share as much knowledge that I have, and I'm still learning in the journey as well. I hope that is okay, everyone. So who is ready for this? Are you all ready? Transitioning to tech. I really don't know I would say really, I don't, it's not a physical session, right? It's a virtual session. If it was physical, I would have asked some random questions to understand who my audience are, to understand those who are operating in the IT space or maybe some other industries, but it's okay. I would believe that a huge percentage of the people here on this platform would be very much interested in tech, which is why you're here. And if you're new to tech, it's okay. Just take notes as I'm speaking. If there's any part that I mentioned that really struck you, just make sure you take note of it. And if you have any questions along the line, please make sure you write it down so that you don't forget. So just a brief highlight about my profile. I'm a chartered engineer, as I mentioned, from the Institute of Engineering and Technology in the UK. Professionally, I'm a cloud architect. I also sometimes play a role of a data architect from time to time, because software, cloud, data and AI are very much interwoven. So my background starts from physics electronics in my first degree, and I was able to evolve into telecoms and networks, where I served at British Telecoms for about 7 years, working on customer premises product, Wi-Fi routers, broadband, voice over IP technologies. So I spent quite a number of years in the telecom industry, and then I moved on into healthcare sector, life science, also consulting in that space, and of course other commercial organizations. Which in all of this, I would say that I have about 11 years plus in the IT ecosystem. So I have at least some things to share. I'm a strong believer, a follower of Jesus, and I like to infuse the gospel into technology as well. I can share my profile website later on, and you see how I basically drive ministry as alongside with technology as well. In terms of my expertise, when it comes to cloud, AI architecture, DevOps, IT security, my day-to-day involves all of this. So sometimes I act like as an enterprise architect where I get involved in all sort of projects. But these are my areas of expertise, as you can see on the screen: data architecture and management, compliance and governance. Yeah, so I think that's just brief highlight. I don't need to say too much. In terms of tech startup, I'm actually one of the leaders at Gurugeeks. For those who know, Gurugeeks is actually a tech startup where we specialize in cloud data AI solutions. This was incorporated in 2015. I started this with my dad, who is a veteran in the insurance industry, and we currently lead the business alongside other IT professionals in the organization as well. So that's just a brief point about my profile. Now, let's talk about technology. Why technology? Why technology, and why are we talking about it now? Technology is a very, very interesting sector today because it sits at the center of almost everything that we do today, starting from your phones and everything, the way we communicate, how we work. And it has always been there, but not as much as pronounced as we see today. So just a bit of a track record of how tech has actually evolved. So in the 1990s to about 2000, you will see that tech was mostly used as let's just say a support system. So we have like what we call physical data center, networks, hardware, basic software. We used to have what we call a back office, cost center or call center, as some people call it, and tech has always been behind that. And in the 2010s, we see how tech has also evolved into what we call cloud computing, which is the virtualization of the physical data center that most of us are familiar with. And then we have the mobile networks, and the social media also have come to play. We have all sort of social media platforms, of course, driven by tech as well. And then 2020s, we see how tech has become, we now have what we call tech as a business, or tech as the business. And now we are in the era of data, in the era of AI, automation, right? And this is really driving the advancement that we're seeing across multiple industries out there. So of course, so tech is very, very important right now. No matter what you're doing today, it's always good to have an idea of how we can use technology to better, let's just say, improve or increase productivity. Whether it's accounting, whether it's medicine, whether it's whatever it may be, tech is always at the center. And there's a huge opportunity now when it comes to technology, because the barriers that we've seen several years back, it's been lowered down now, because there's this flexibility of how you can actually get into tech. There's the aspect of remote working as well. And there's a massive demand when it comes to different disciplines and experiences that businesses are looking for. So the opportunity is now, which is why we're talking about it. There are many reasons why several people move into tech. There are many reasons why people consider tech. It could be because they feel that there's a high income potential. Of course, I won't lie. Tech of course pays if you know what you're doing. Of course, they are among the highest paid globally across all experience levels. There's also global career opportunities. Whether you want to, I know people who work in Nigeria and still earn in foreign currencies, right? And you can still be in the UK and still work, with other, even outside of your own country if you want. There's a remote work flexibility. There's a fast career progression when it comes to tech. And you can also consider the business angle of tech, not just starting a career. You can consider starting a tech startup on the side. It is possible. So which forms the reason why most people are considering moving to tech. But this is it. So what does the landscape of the tech universe, what does it look like? Because moving into tech, you must know what exactly you want to do. If you want to transition to tech, what does it look like? What do we have out there, right? We have cloud computing. Cloud computing, as I said, is the virtualization of the physical data center that we mostly know. Most of the time, we call it your server room, right? If you go to any organization, they will tell you our server room is on the ground floor. All of that has been virtualized now, so you can do a lot more beyond what you do in your physical data center. You can pay as you go when you use your resources. You can do a lot of advanced analytics and use high performance computing systems. So cloud computing is quite interesting, and the most popular service providers in that space are Amazon Web Service, Microsoft Azure, and the Google Cloud Platform. We can delve into this in more detail if you're interested. We have software development, which is very popular, which is development or design and development of applications, websites, and systems that we mostly use today, right? You have your mobile phones. Of course, the applications running there are built by software engineers. We also have the career path, which is software testing, quality assurance software testing. There's AI engineering and architecture, which is of course one of the highest discipline that is in high demand today is AI engineering and architecture. That's a massive space right now. We have the virtual reality, augmented reality, and the XR. So this is the part where those who like things that has to do with virtual reality, like the metaverse, for instance, from Facebook. So it's another space in the IT as well that I have colleagues who specialize in this part, and they really enjoy what they do. There's a cyber security, which is quite popular. How you secure your data, the governance around how we manage data, how we make sure it's secured, how we transfer data securely. It's quite huge as well. Cyber security is quite very broad, but it's a very interesting part. If you're already a technologist, you mostly know a bit about cyber security because it's at the center of everything. You can't build a solution without being security conscious. So you can either be an expert or you also just learn the fundamentals so that you can infuse it into what you do. There is the GRC, very popular. That's governance, risk, and compliance. You mostly see people in this, practicing this in many organizations, especially the fintech, of course, and other industries like the telecoms, probably manufacturing as well. You would always need, professionals in that space. So there's a big opportunity there as well. We have the product design and management, and of course, data analytics, IT support, and networking. So these are all different disciplines that is available, even much more that I might not be able to cover. We have data engineering, we have blockchain. Don't forget that. We have blockchain. We have digital marketing. We have game development. Those who create games on your phone. We have the IoT, which is the Internet of Things. All the smart devices that you have currently in your home. That's another space. And then we have the tech sales and the business analysis. So these are kind of variants of different areas or specialties or should I call it sector, or let's just say disciplines that are available within the IT space. So now you see the picture of what it looks like, but we'll then navigate. How do you then determine which way to go? Okay, how do you choose the right path for yourself? How do you choose the right path? The basic questions I would ask, but sometimes I act as a consultant. So rather than tell you what to do, I'd rather conduct some sort of personal assessment. You can ask yourself what problems excite you, right? Do you love solving logic puzzles? Are you someone that enjoy design challenges? Are you someone who like to solve problems for people, or you are someone who is more strategic, or you're someone who likes to be hands-on, right? Do you want to build or code directly? Is that what you want? Or you want to guide, you want to provide strategy for things? You want to be the one in charge of risk and risk assessment, impact assessments, give a direction for a product, or are you someone who loves to be involved in systems and processes, structure, or you like to deal with people? You're a people person, you like to work with people. So these are questions you can ask yourself. And if you're able to ask these questions, then the guidance starts from there. But I'm going to break it down for you with this set of questions here, and just guide you to different paths. I'm going to mention a few based on the picture that I showed you earlier. So, how do you determine the tech path that is right for you? Do you love creativity, for instance? If you love creativity, my suggestion would be product design. Product design, UI UX. Basically, UI UX means user interface, user experience. So if you're familiar with Instagram today, or TikTok or Facebook, whatever application, someone sat down to understand the goal, to understand the problem they're trying to solve, to understand the design of how the interface is going to look like. That's the product design aspect. So if you're someone who loves design, that would be a path you might want to pursue. If you're someone who loves to solve problems, right, complex problems, then you have options like software engineering, cloud engineering, DevOps, automation, cybersecurity, and many more. If you're someone who loves numbers, my suggestion to you is data analytics is good. Data science, business intelligence, there's data engineering as well, which is kind of more complex. So if you love numbers, statistics, you like to go into historical record, you like to work with data, you want to understand data, you want to understand patterns, you want to gain insights in a large data sets or small data sets, then this path will be good for you. Data science, data analytics will be good. And if you love people, there are people who are very good with communication. Not just communication, they like to work with people. They are okay to manage people. They don't get tired when people frustrate them. Okay, you have that resilience. You might want to go for product management. And just to mention, product management is also evolving today. There's what we call AI product management. So product management is like the basics now. So to actually be relevant in the industry today, if you want to choose that path, where you want to target is AI product management, because that's what is relevant today. We have business analysis, customer success, tech sales. So all of these are non-technical paths, which if you don't like anything technical but you still want to operate in the tech space, that's what I'm going to recommend. If you love strategy, this is the layer that I sit today. So, but I did not start from this layer. If you look at my track record, when I started my career as a graduate engineer in a telecom industry. So I started to work on Wi-Fi routers, broadband, troubleshooting, product engineering, vendor management, all sort of things that it will require you get like varieties of flavors of different things. So I actually started from the lowest of the lowest in the tech space, which helped with my foundation, and I was able to grow from there. But I realized along the line, after I tried several things, I've worked as a Wi-Fi engineer, I've worked as an IT infrastructure engineer, I've worked as a system solution designer, and then I realized that I wanted to settle in the aspect of strategy, leadership, digital transformation, and being able to guide and mentor and lead and train people as well. So I currently operate at this level, enterprise architecture. So you like to see things end to end. If you're someone who is you're a visionary, you like to know what is going to happen at the end even before you start, you would likely do well in this part. So you can be a consultant, you can come into management consulting, digital transformation, and then bring leadership skills there. That's an example. So I believe that many people will have questions now. So if you have your question, just put it in the chat. We'll address them later. I have just a few minutes left. So I've talked about choosing your path. Now, what is the roadmap? Because if you want to transition to tech, you need to understand what's the roadmap, right? This is my own guide. I'm not saying that this is the way, but I'll only talk about what has worked for me and what I believe is also working for other students that I am privileged to also train. So I would say, of course, you want to start by choose a path based on your personality, based on your interest, as I've just provide guidance now, and start small, right? Start small. Go online, read a little bit about what that particular, area means. Let's say for instance data analytics. You can go online and just check what does it really mean. What's it all about? What does it take to be successful as a data analyst? You can ask simple questions like that. So get the fundamentals. There are free contents that you can always get. So explore. Second thing is learn the fundamentals of that particular path that you're choosing. Whether you've chosen to become a business analyst or a product manager, or you want to go in the path of AI engineering, start from the fundamentals. If you jump the fundamentals, you would still have problems in the future. One of the things that have helped me is because I did not run away from training. So I spent quality time, spent years building that knowledge, building that solid foundation, because I know where I want to be. I don't want to rush to the top. I needed to build that foundation. So don't be afraid to start from the fundamentals. Join a boot camp if you can. Join a cohort. I'll share more information about this at some point. Because if you have a methodical training platform, like a training curriculum, it will help as well, so that you can get both the theoretical and the practical kind of thing. Of course, build real projects. So you can how do you build real projects? It starts from identifying problem. You must first of all identify a problem that you feel you want to solve. If you're able to identify the problem, then the question is, how do I go about it? So you can start with guidance. Of course, you might have mentors. Anyone, maybe you're in an academy, we're going to guide you, and then you can start to try something, practicalize it. And the more you practicalize, the more you start to understand. We in the tech space, we learn faster when things fails. So if you're someone who always like happy path, you won't really do well in tech. If you think everything is going to be happy path for you, that's not it. In tech, the more things fail, we don't pray that things will fail, but the more things fail is a chance for you to learn. In fact, my own mantra is that when I'm given a challenge at the at the workplace, I'm always excited when I'm faced with challenges, because I know that it's my time to shine. That's what I always say to myself. If I don't have any problem to solve, if I don't have any challenge in front of me, then how am I supposed to shine the light of God? So I can only shine when there is problem. So I'm glad when I'm in the midst of complex problems, because that is the reason why I'm in tech. So you must enjoy solving problems. Practical experience is very important. You can't exchange it with anything. If you need to volunteer. I did a lot of volunteering when I was starting out. Even as a master's holder, I was doing volunteering before I eventually got a job at a telecoms company then. So you can start, you can join as an intern. You can join organizations as an intern. It really helps. There are several people who have joined our own organizations as interns, and they are doing well today. Some have become managers in the company today. In fact, our IT business operations manager at Gurugeeks is a certified cloud engineer. At the same time, is also a business operations manager. Then he started as an intern in the organization, and today he's leading the entire team. So if you're patient enough, of course you'll definitely get to the top. Networking is very important. Of course, you have to attend tech conferences, join communities, make sure you have a mentor. It's very important to have a mentor in the tech space. For the younger generations, I don't know how they are doing it. Many of them don't have mentors, but I would say that mentors have really helped me. I have mentors for different things. There's a mentor for spiritual matter. There's a mentor for career growth. There's a mentor for a particular profession that I've chosen. So I don't use just one. You have to have various mentors for different things. It helps. I can explain further later. Of course, apply. Make sure that you have your CV all tidied up. There's a way we create CV when it comes to the tech space. It's not general. So there's a structure to it. There's a pattern to how we create CVs. And then, of course, you want to get opportunities for interviews so that you can practice. I think I've dwelt on that for long. This is the part I think I really want everyone to really pay attention. Is the aspect that I call mindset and principles for success. It's not enough to join the tech space because of the financial benefits or the fact that you are able to work from home or you're able to travel a lot. I would say that whatever is worth doing is worth doing well. Once you're there, once you find yourself in it, you must aim to deliver the best. You must aim to give your best, because you are there to solve problems. You are there to contribute to the growth or expansion or impact in any organization that you find yourself. So there's a mindset required to be successful, particularly in the tech space. It's a very challenging environment, but of course there's a path to it. I would say make sure you're someone who always want to learn. You remember the scripture that I shared with you earlier. If you think you know anything, you don't know it as much as you ought to. So you must stay hungry. You must stay hungry to learn more, because as I'm speaking to you right now, the advent of AI has changed everything. It's changed everything. So no matter how long you are already operating in tech, you have to relearn. You have to learn afresh, because now, with the decades of experience that I have to now start to subject it now to the new technology patterns. And how can I merge that? How can I evolve myself? So everyone needs to stay hungry to learn more, as if you don't know anything, right? Embrace being a beginner. Adopt a growth mindset. It's very important. There are people that when you're discussing maybe in a project meeting and you have a particular challenge, you see some people using the language like, oh, it's going to be difficult to do. If you're coming into tech and you want to do well, you don't talk like that. Don't say something's going to be difficult to do. You understand the problem first. If you need to go away and go and dissect it more, do your research, then you can come back. Because the mindset in the tech space is very important. That will determine if you're going to be successful or you're going to be a failure in tech. Because your mindset is very important. Once you have a mindset that this is not possible or this is difficult, everything, your mental capacity will shut down. You won't be in your thinking mode, right? So there's a mindset aspect to tech. Very, very important. Very important. You must have the right mindset, a can-do attitude, right? Stay curious and consistent. Consistency is key. Consistency is key. While in the telecom industry, I started as a graduate engineer. In less than 6 years, I got promotion 4 times. 4 times. I'm saying this to the glory of the Lord. I'm just letting you know. Each of these promotion, every year, I get a lump sum bonus every year, because I'm always attaining the highest performance in my time. There are times I get vouchers outside of pay package or whatever, special vouchers for solutions delivered. So if you really want to do well in tech, be ready to give your best and be consistent, because many people will watch you. It's difficult to build trust, but if you can build trust, it goes a long way. Stay curious and ask questions. If you don't know how to ask questions or you don't like to ask questions, you won't do well in tech. The more you're curious, the more you can ask questions, the more you learn. The more you learn. Build genuine relationships. This is very important. Relationship is very, very important in tech. You'll meet all kinds of people, especially when you're a Christian. The people you're going to be working with in the marketplace are not necessarily Christians. You will have people with bad attitude to work. You have people with crazy mindset, even those with demonic spirit as well. So you have to be wise in order to rise in the industry. You have to merge all sort of things. Your skills needs to be there. You must have a good attitude. You must be ready to support, and then learn how to build relationship. Human relation is very important, because some positions, some opportunities will come to you because of relationship. Some positions will come to you based on, not because there are many people who are good. There are many people who are skilled. For instance, I'm a solutions architect, but there are thousands or millions of solutions architects out there. But the thing is, I'm able to distinct myself. I'm one of the few architects who could manage an entire program. Architects don't do that. But what else do you bring on the table that can make you stand out? I'm a certified project manager, right? So I bring not just the architecture or engineering, I'm bringing management, I'm bringing leadership. So that already sets me apart. So you must find what will set you apart, so that the relationship is easy to build. Okay? Show up with integrity. And of course, learn to track whatever you are doing. Don't assume that your managers or everyone working around you know what you're doing. You must build a spreadsheet for yourself. You must build a tracker for yourself. Record everything you're doing, your deliverables, how you're impacting the organization, how you are impacting their customers, and how you are impacting the people in the organization. Is whatever you're doing, does it contribute to the value? Does it contribute to the realization of their vision? Does it contribute to their customers? And does it contribute to the people? Those three are very important. If whatever you're doing does not correlate with any of those three, you need to check what you're doing. All right. What are the common challenges that you mostly face? Of course, there's going to be challenges. You want the big money. You want to solve big problems. You're going to face challenges, isn't it? Sometimes you might have this imposter syndrome or self-doubt. Of course, sometimes it might happen where you feel like you're not enough. You feel like, oh, I don't know this enough. I need to, even though you've maybe gone for a certification, sometimes you might feel like I don't know enough. It can happen. But you don't remain in that kind of position. So thank God that I'm a Christian. So we have what we call system of advantage. Okay? So my own system of advantage is the Holy Spirit. So how do I do this? So I use the scripture a lot. When I want to embark on a new consulting project and I don't have maybe much understanding, I can simply use the story of the testimony of David against Goliath. He was able, if you look at I think 1 Samuel 17 thereabout, he was able to narrate the wins, the successes that he's had back when he was tendering sheep and all of that. How he tore the bear and the lion into two and all of that. He was able to narrate the wins, and he used that as a leverage, as a courage to say, I'm going to face this new challenge. So sometimes I place that scripture in front of me, and so to remind myself. And sometimes other things that I do is what they call proclamation. You must be able to speak positive things into your life. So in the morning you can say, I'm intelligent, I'm wise, I'm led by the Holy Spirit, I'm guided. So those kind of proclamations can really give you that courage and confidence. And of course, you do your due diligence. You have to learn, you have to read, you have to study and all of that. I'm just saying, that's how you overcome it. Some people might say, okay, I'm too late now to come into tech. There's nothing like that. It's based on your interest and how much you want to learn and the pathway that you have chosen. There's always a strategy for things. Information overload might happen. In tech, there's quite a lot. I won't lie to you. Artificial intelligence that everyone is shouting today. Artificial intelligence is not one thing. It's not one thing. Artificial intelligence is like an umbrella. It's like a parental word. So it's got families. Under artificial intelligence, we have what we call the LLM, large language models, right? Small data set language models. We have the natural language processing (NLP). We have the agentic AI. We have AI workflow, right? We have RAG, retrieval augmented generative AI. We have the generative AI. There are all kinds of AI. It's not just artificial intelligence only. So imagine all of that, and you still have to learn some other specific AI models. For instance, we have Claude, we have the ones from NVIDIA, we have the one from AWS, we have Microsoft Azure. They have their own platform. So there's quite a lot. You can feel like, where do I start? But the secret is just pick one that is relevant to your path and stay consistent on it. Once you're done, you can move to the next one. Okay, you don't have to do everything at the same time. I currently have 3 certifications I'm doing right now. They are all AI related, but I don't have to do. I've paid for them, but I don't have to do everything at the same time. So I'm starting with one, and when I'm done with the exam, I move to the next one. Okay. Sometimes you might, because in this era of working remotely is a dangerous path. I really pity those who are just starting out their career. If they are listening to me on this call, most people want to join the bandwagon of I want to work remotely, but you've never worked physically anywhere. You've never worked in an organization. You don't know what it means to work in a team. You don't know what it means to be in a conference, in a boardroom. You don't know what it means. But most young people are trying to get remote jobs first. It's unfortunate. They don't understand that there are some skills you have to build. You don't build them remotely. You build them physically. If you're just starting out your career, please try as much as possible to work in a company where you can go there physically, even if it's twice in a week. Communication skills, conflict resolution, conflict management, right? Presentation skills, attitude, character. There's a lot you will gain when you start to work with other people. How to overcome challenges, because there are times you build those soft skills when you are in the physical settings, not just remote working. Okay, but remote working has its own limitations, but sometimes you might feel like I'm not really involved in what they are doing in the organization. You might feel overlooked. Of course, there's a way out. Like I said, always document your contributions. Make sure you have a mentor who is guiding you. Make sure you have what we call personal development plan. Okay, I'm going to stop at that point because of time. So how do you stand out? How do you stand out and build wealth through tech? There are two ways. You can either go into the marketplace, work for a company, or you can decide to go into the business side of it. Maybe set up it, try like a tech startup, for instance. But it's a whole lot. To become an entrepreneur is a different thing entirely. You must be built for that because it's so challenging. But if you want to start, you want to start from somewhere, join a company, of course, you need to have a professional LinkedIn profile. If you don't have a professional LinkedIn profile, please create one now. It's very important because when it comes to the marketplace, LinkedIn is the one-stop platform where they will check you out. If you go for any conference and you exchange contacts, the first place they're going to check you out is on LinkedIn. So it's very important, and it needs to be standard. Your CV also needs to be top-notch. Don't assume, because there are AI systems, I think it's called ATS, that they scan CVs for initial, is like an initial assessment. If it doesn't capture the keywords that they want, it throws your CV in the bin and move on to the next one. It's only a few companies that check CV manually. Amazon is one of the companies I know that check CV manually. Many other companies use AI and all of this stuff. Okay, so you must make sure that you're following the standard when it comes to CV. Certifications are quite good. It just is a way to validate the skills that you have. There are times whereby I learn a particular tool or system or application or technology, and then it's going to take me later to then go do certifications on it. Don't rush to do certifications where you've not done training. Get the training, know it well, and then get certified. Okay? Personal brand is important. I've seen professionals, if you check my own page, for instance, femiadeglobal.com, or my Instagram or YouTube, you will see that I do free trainings, IT training, tester. I could be talking about AI for cybersecurity. Sometimes I'm talking about AI for data analytics. Sometimes I'm talking about AI for product design. I'm doing this because I'm creating the personal brand. You can start to do that. The more you teach, the more you learn and understand. Okay? There's employment pathway, of course, to get a stable salary. There's freelancing. There are platforms whereby you can just build a good profile, get a project. When you're done, they pay you. Many people know what freelance means. I would say go for freelancing if you've already built tangible skills. Okay, I see many people who they have zero experience and yet they call themselves freelancer. I don't know how that works. You can go into startups, SaaS products, or become a SaaS service provider, or digital product. You can create some courses that you want to put online. There are different ways to build wealth creation in IT. Aside from just doing your day-to-day job, there are things you can do on the side. You can create you can be like a YouTuber as well. I've seen professionals that have their YouTube channel where they educate other people, and they get money from the views as well. So we can talk a lot more about this later on. I I think I've mentioned some of them. Of course, AI literacy is very important. Let me call that out today. No matter what you're doing today, whether you decide to join us in tech or not, you still need to be to consider AI literacy. You need to understand what AI is. What does it mean for you as a manager, as a CIO, as a CTO? What does it mean for you as a church leader? What does AI means for you? You can use AI for social media. You can use AI for publicity. You can use AI for all sort of things. So it's important that everyone at least pay attention to it. Get the basic, get the fundamentals. In our own academy, we have a particular course called Tech Literacy for Leaders. Very, very important. Very important because it helps those who are non-technical, those who are senior leaders, to understand these modern technologies and what it means for their own organization. And then, so yeah, I think that brings me to a platform that I know, that I trust, that I'm involved in, that I know I can encourage people. So if you're considering transitioning to tech, I mentioned the other time that you can join like a boot camp or an academy. One platform that I can recommend is Gurugeeks Academy because I'm involved in it and I know it, and it's produced several graduates who are doing well. Some have got a good job in the UK here, and this platform operates globally. We have students who join us from China sometimes. A lot of people join from UK and a few from Nigeria as well. So what Gurugeeks platform provides is, of course, skill development program, but it's not just about that. Gurugeeks is operating under the platform of Gurugeeks IT Solutions Company. So if you want to join any tech academy, this is the secret. Join a tech academy that already runs an IT business, because what happens is that they will be giving you more organic, customer-driven, industry standard materials and resources, not Udemy textbook type. Okay, so Gurugeeks Academy, they build their own curriculum. It's organic. It's based on what they experience in the industry itself, in the organization itself, dealing with customers. And the way it's structured is a 6 month. There's a 3 month. Of course, there's also 6 month. Whereby first 3 months you focus on the methodical, structured sort of training. You have coursework, of course. Coursework is there. Practical exercises are there. But the remaining 3 months, you can then join the internship. You can spend 3 months to gain that practical work experience. You start to understand what it feels to work in a company, right? You work on real life projects. Very, very important. So that's what Gurugeeks offers. Of course, guidance on CV creation, interview support, mentorship, even beyond the end of the program. You still have mentors. You can connect, right? And of course, you have exposure to senior professionals. So this is there. You can always go to the platform later on. These are the courses that we have available. Of course, we have others that are coming very soon. You can see the AI Performance Engineering Foundation there. You can see Tech Literacy for Leaders, Cloud Engineering. All of that is all available. Cloud Security and AI Performance if you go to the platform. I think that's it. And then the last thing I'm going to share is just to introduce you to Gurugeeks. So this is the Gurugeeks Tech Company itself. The other one is the Tech Academy. Then we have the IT Solutions Company, where we provide, of course, cloud, data, AI solutions, software development. If you go to gurugeeksurt.biz, you would see all sort of projects across different industries that we've been able to deliver, applications that the company itself has also produced. We operate in the HRM, CRM industry as well. We've built ERP solutions, all kinds of websites. So that's why the academy is very vibrant, because we have a solid IT solutions company. And of course, you can learn more about this. We're a member of the Suffolk Chamber of Commerce in Ipswich. Of course, that's the county for Ipswich. So that makes us very well recognized across several organizations in Ipswich. We work with the Suffolk County Council as well on some engagements, on placements and internship. These are a few organizations that we support both in the UK, Canada, US, of course, Nigeria as well. We work with both public sector and private sector as well. So I think that's it really from me, and I'm going to be taking questions. We are all over the place on social media, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook. We have all the social media handles there. So thank you so much for the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.